Good morning and welcome to the DFS YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Here to take a look at pitching for today, the 22nd of August. It is Saturday. We do have a 3-game early slate and an 11-game main slate. One of the largest main slates we've had on a Saturday all season long pretty much. So definitely interesting. Glad it's not a super early main slate. It's a more traditional one. So that'll help us out. I've not seen any weather updates yet this morning. But updates last night were delay risk in Boston, Philadelphia, and Baltimore. All games should play according to our weatherman. So, a reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options on the slate, and I am going to look at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you play in FanDuel, cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. Now let's just jump right into this 3-gamer quick. It's Dylan Cease and then kind of everybody else. He just racked up 27 DK points in his last start, which was against the same Yankees squad. Double-digit strikeouts in 4 out of his last 7, 5 out of his last 9. 6 out of his last 12. The strikeouts just there. He's going to throw a ton of pitches. 104 plus in, 5 of his last 7. So, just a guy that we're gonna love using. Obviously there's some volatility in Yankee Stadium, but 2 starts against the Yankees, 11 and a third, 19 strikeouts, just 6 hits allowed. Tough to ignore that, and he's been phenomenal on the road this season. Easily the top guy on this 3-gamer. Then who you're going to go with your second spot is either Logan Henderson or Yuri Perez. Henderson 26 plus in 4 straight, or 3 of 4, not 4 straight, but he does have home run issues, as you can see. 7 home runs allowed over his last 5 starts, 8 over his last 6. He does have some strikeout upside. Obviously nowhere near what Cease can do. He does have some pitch count questions as well. Just not as guaranteed to go as deep. This is just 3 starts in the 90s for pitch count on the season. Now those 3 have come in his last 4 starts. So maybe there's something to that. But, there's always a chance that he's basically a 6-inning, 88 pitch type starter. And we should get 20 pitches more than that out of Dylan Cease. I don't mind it. Atlanta's offense recently has been pretty rough. They do have a lot of power, so that those Henderson home runs kind of come into play a little bit. 6 home runs allowed at home in 26 innings this season. Definitely something that we pay attention to, but there's upside. It's not the greatest case spot. It's not bad, but it's not the best. Yuri Perez against Washington. I like this spot quite a bit, especially if CJ Abrams ends up out for this one. His home numbers really strong. Just 6 home runs allowed in 59 home innings. His K numbers at home need to jump up, but his walk rate goes down a lot. Allows more hits, but a lot less base runners. Surprisingly, hasn't faced Washington yet this season, but he has not given up a home run since the end of June. Now that I said that, I'm going to jinx him, but the one worry is the walks when they creep up. He had 5 of them in his last start. Generally, if he can stick to two walks, he's probably pretty good. I think he's my favorite SP2 on this early slate. Ryan Weathers, a guy that I'm going to sprinkle in as well, was pretty solid against this Toronto team in his last start 6 days ago. Just not a ton of K upside, as we've come to expect with facing Toronto. His other 2 starts against Toronto were not very good. Negative 2.4 and an 11. But the Toronto lineup is weak enough. I kind of like some Toronto bats, but they've just been swinging it better recently. He's given up 12 home runs at home, which is obviously an issue. So he's a lot sketchier when pitching at home, which you kind of expect in this ballpark. I've seen Martin Perez or Bryce Elder both listed for starting today for the Braves. We're going to want to pay attention. I don't have any interest in Bryce Elder. I might have slight interest in Martin Perez. Basically, it's just left-handed pitching against Milwaukee. Feels like a better option than right-handed pitching, but I don't really want to unless I absolutely have to. And I just have no interest in Jake Irvin, even though it's a 3-gamer and you could probably play everybody. I'm just going to kind of bank on his recent trends staying the same. And we're not going to see like this 28. If he goes out and scores 10 or 11, I think I'm going to be fine and completely happy that I passed on him. Switching over to the main slate, 22 pitchers to go through. Let's try to trim it down. First look wise, LA and Texas. Ryan Johnson, we've played him a couple times. His third best start of the season came against Texas. That was 2 starts ago. Still only 4 1/3. He has a walk issue, not enough strikeout upside for me. He's allowed a home run, at least 1 home run in 9 straight starts. 16 home runs allowed in 60 innings. What is that? 1 every 3 3/4, 3.75 innings. That's that's nearly 3 per 9, approaching 3 per 9. Not the most ideal. His road numbers are atrocious as well. Easy pass. Cody Bradford on the other side, I still like him overall. His last 2 haven't been the best. Slowly ramping up in pitch count. K's return last start, 2 starts ago, was against this Angel squad, and he just struck out 1 in 7 innings. It wasn't just a decent start out of him. If he could pick up, 3 or 4 more strikeouts in that, and then somehow get the win, we're looking at 20 plus. I think Bradford's got to be in play at 7K on this slate. Tampa Bay and Baltimore, I am passing on both pitchers, which is weird to say because McClanahan is one of them. But Brandon Young, I'm just not using him against Tampa Bay. His last start came against Tampa Bay. He gave up 3 home runs in that one. He's given up 10 home runs at home already this season. Just not a spot I need to rely on Brandon Young. Shane McClanahan, his last start came against Baltimore as well, which was his first start off the IL. Just 57 pitches. So we're probably just going to see him increase into maybe 70. I don't know. But, he's had enough injury history that they could be pretty cautious with him and keep him in the 60s. And obviously, postseason-wise in mind, they need him healthy. I just don't think there's enough upside. Plus, some of the Baltimore bats are swinging it really well. Kind of like Alonso and Kobe Mayo against them, which is rare because I'm such a big McClanahan fan. The Mets and the White Sox. Luis Castillo came back down to earth, if I remember correctly, in his last start after his best start in years. That's kind of what I expect. I don't really expect this to happen again. The Mets aren't a scary offense, but I'm just not using Luis Castillo on an 11-gamer. On the other side, Christian Scott. I am probably going to use some Christian Scott because he does flash upside. He has 7 strikeouts in, 5 of his last 8 starts, so the strikeout numbers are there. He's not super clean, so that's a worry. But he does offer 30 fantasy point upside, and I'm always down with that. He's been better on the road, just 3 home runs allowed in 47 1/3 innings. Home runs are the big issue for the White Sox. So if he can limit that or just cut it off completely, he's been really good on the road. 60 strikeouts in 47 1/3. So I like Christian Scott for GPP upside, and I think he's going to be kind of overlooked. Houston and the Athletics. The curious case of Hunter Brown. It's kind of gone back to the walk issues again. The A's lineup has gotten weaker. They aren't striking out as much as you'd think or expect with their lineup being weaker, but they're also not as dangerous. So Hunter Brown's giving up home runs right now. He's walking people, but the matchup is just so solid. And a month ago against the White Sox, he showed us what can happen again when he puts things together. I still believe in him, so I am going to be overweight on Hunter Brown. On the other side, you get Jacob Lopez. He's been throwing the ball pretty well 2 earned or fewer in 6 straight starts or appearances, or not sure if he came in long relief early on or not, but strikeouts are there. Walks are down recently. It is a little bit of a dangerous matchup, but traditionally Houston, for whatever reason, has just been much better against right-handed pitching than left. So while it is super volatile, I do like the potential upside, and I will be using Jacob Lopez. San Francisco and Boston, just not a game I want to target pitching in. Like, Sandoval could be fine. We know that this San Francisco lineup is just blah. So, there is a little bit of upside, but he's walking too many dudes. Just way too many base runners that I can't rely on him. A whip of 185 is gross. He's been better at home, but his whip is still way up there. Kind of more getting lucky with things. So I'm just not getting there. Blake Tidwell, not somebody I'm playing. I'm going to be pretty high on the Boston Bats. Cubs, Seattle. David Peterson was being told he was moved to the bullpen, but now he's starting again. Seattle struggles mightily against left-handed pitching, so I do have to consider him. I'm just not sure if I'm going to get there, but he's in consideration, somebody that I want to kind of dig into more as the day progresses. On the other side, we get the much-anticipated Major League debut for Cade Anderson. Considered to be, not one of the top pitching prospects, considered to be the actual top pitching prospect in baseball the way that he's thrown this year. 135 strikeouts in 93 and a third innings. Just a couple of the Cubs bats are hot. PCA, Bregman. There's a bunch of them that are actually kind of struggling a little bit. So I'm very, very interested in Cade Anderson making his Major League debut. Have to dig into pitch count potential issues, but I don't think that's going to be the case. But yeah, I mean, if we find out that he's going to just throw 70 or 75 pitches, maybe I can't do it. But, if he's going to throw 80s to 90, definitely want to be on him. Detroit, Kansas City. Drew Anderson has been fine, but I don't really think there's enough upside. Some of the KC bats are swinging it pretty well right now. Michael Wacha, definitely somebody that could pay off. I'm just kind of betting on him not doing so. He had one really elite start against Detroit this season, so it is something to pay attention to, but the strikeout upside just isn't there for him at this point. This one he went 7 innings, just put up 13 fantasy points against them. First one he put up nearly 28, so I'm not interested in Wacha, but if you wanted to play him, I probably wouldn't talk you out of it. Pitt in LA, you get Jared Jones and his big upside, but pitch count questions against a tough team. He could always get it done. So if you want to use Jared Jones, I'm not arguing against it. I'm just pretty high on the Dodgers right now. The other side, Skubal. I think this is probably his best shot to have a big time game with the Dodgers so far. Pittsburgh strikes out a ton against left-handed pitching, especially on the road. I just think it's a great time for Skubal to show up. I would not be shocked if he approaches double-digit strikeouts in this one. Cincy, Arizona, zero interest in Lauder, a ton of interest in Soroka. His last couple starts haven't been great, but from a fantasy point perspective, but they haven't been bad. Those are his first 2 starts back from the IL. Before going on the IL, he was performing pretty well, and his last full start before the IL was against the Cincinnati squad, and he put up 26 fantasy points. I'm all about Soroka in this one. Cleveland, Colorado, zero interest. You could probably sneak in Bybee, but I have zero interest in pitching in that game. Minnesota, San Diego, probably not getting to Casey Mize. He's looked better with San Diego the last 2 starts, but I just don't think there's a ton of upside for him in this spot. He struggled mightily against the Twins earlier. Dean Kramer is somebody I am going to sprinkle in. Rough start last time out, but he's been decent with the Twins. But he's one that I could see removing from my pool, to sneak in maybe a Jared Jones for leverage purposes. But there we have it. There's our first look at the pitching on the slates. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on to get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., there's a link in the description below. You can use promo code BOOK, BOOK, for 20% off your membership. Best of luck, everybody.